Right, hello, good morning, or whatever time of day it is for you. Welcome to Yoga with Matthew. I'm here this morning in Capitol Reef National Park in Utah, or just outside of it rather. I found this great hill to scramble up above my campsite that, there's nobody around, and I have these amazing views around me. And as you can see, the sun is illuminating these canyons and hillsides here, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So one of the reasons I come to places like this is to just get clarity, to get a little bit more mental space, to get a little bit more space in my consciousness. Because, when we're in our day-to-day lives, things can feel a little bit compressed. So, enter the practice of yoga, which is one of the tools that we can employ to take us out of busy stress mind. So while I'm out here on this trip, I'm creating this series of shorter practices because, we don't always have time to do a full hour practice in a morning, or, maybe going to a studio is inconvenient for you, especially in the times of COVID and everything. So I've got a short, about 15-minute practice for you here this morning to get your day going and to get you in a spacious place. All right, so we'll go ahead and start with our legs folded and our spine straight, shoulders back and down. Start in our classic seated pose here. Just to feel yourself where you're at, checking in with the body, checking in with the breath. And we'll take a few rounds of deep breath into the chest. Even just feeling the effects of that. The shift that it creates. So you can set an intention for your practice in this moment, just to be fully present during your practice, and even more to be fully present during your day. So with that, you can allow the eyes to open, and we'll start to warm the body with some hip circles. So you can place the hands on the hips. I'm sorry, on the knees. The sun is blinding me a bit. Feels good though. And we'll just rotate the torso. Deepening your circles as you move. And changing direction. And we're going to move from hip circles straight into seated cat-cows. So if you watch me on the transition here, as I come back, I'm going to let my spine round, chin tuck, and then reverse, head back, shoulders back. We'll do a few more seated cat-cows here, bringing some movement into our spine. And we'll try that transition one more time. So go back into your hip circles. I've been all about these transitional movements. There's something magical about working the transition from one thing we know to another, seeing how our body can flow, seeing how we can flow and change. So here we go. As you come back, rounding the spine, tucking the chin, shoulders forward, and to seated cow pose, rock back and forth a few times. And let's hold our seated cow pose. Shoulder blades squeeze back. Neck is extending up and back. And we'll release. Let's roll out the shoulders once or twice. All right, great. So we'll scoot back a little bit and we'll get ourselves into staff pose. And a crucial element of staff pose here is allowing the bones of the seat to find the floor. You can do that by moving the flesh of the glutes. So once you do that, get the legs totally straight, get the thighs a little engaged, pull the feet back towards you. You can splay the toes a little bit, wake the feet up. And then the upper body is straight, the abdomen is pulling in, the chest is nice and wide, the shoulders are back. Arms extend overhead. We'll take a few breaths here. Notice it requires some effort. And we'll exhale to fold, keeping a straight spine. Let the hands land on the legs. Take hold of the shins or ankles or wherever your hands are at. Keep the spine straight. My shoulders are pulling back. It may not look like it, but they're doing this. This helps to keep the spine straight here. Tuck the chin. And exhale to release. Hands overhead and rotate back. Let's find a seated back bend. Raising the sternum, extending through the neck. Don't crunch the neck, but extend. Nice, and then we'll bend the legs and plant the feet. We'll press the hips up for reverse table. Let's take a few breaths here. Nice, and then we'll walk the feet a little bit more underneath us. We'll rock onto the balls of the feet, knees coming towards the mat. And landing with control, we'll go up onto the knees, hands plant on the small of the back, squeeze the elbows, squeeze the shoulder blades, toes curl under, and let's press the hips out for Camel Pose. And again, we're extending through the neck, not crunching. Nice, we'll release from the pose. We'll plant the hands on the outside of the knees, and from here we'll step our right foot back and our left foot forward a little bit. We'll come to a lunge. We'll press that heel back. Anyone who practices with me knows I'm a stickler about my lunge pose. Fully extending the leg, pressing the heel back. And let's let the foot join, plank. Let's hang out here for a little bit. Anytime we enter a pose statically, we want to be breathing. And we'll lower the knees. Chin and chest sweep, upward facing. And we'll press back, downward. Let's press the heels down. Let's let the armpits open up a little wider. And then we'll lower one forearm to the mat at a time. Fingers can interlace here. You can walk the feet just a little bit closer towards you. Leave the head off the ground. Press into the forearms and elbows, Dolphin Pose. One more big breath. Nice. We'll let the knees come down. We'll let the tops of the feet go flat. We'll sit up onto the heels and rest with the hands on the thighs. Notice your breath, notice your body. Nice. We'll move through this sequence one more time. So you can straighten one leg at a time. We'll come back to staff pose, right where we started. Bones of your seat finding the floor. Legs straight. Sit nice and tall. Arms overhead. And we'll exhale to fold. Straight spine. Extend the crown. Breathe into the legs. And now we'll exhale to round the spine and fold. It's just a different type of forward fold, so feel how it just feels different from the straight spine. Nice, and then we'll release, arms overhead, hands come back, fingers plant pointing away from you, seated back bend. Nice. And then we'll bring the feet to the mat. We'll press up for a reverse table. Chest is nice and wide. Nice. We'll walk the feet a little bit more underneath us. You have another chance to practice this transition. Weight onto the balls of the feet and the toes. Control yourself. And the knees plant on the mat. Come to Camel Pose. If you feel like full camel is available to you this morning, you can go ahead and take one heel at a time. Press the hips out. Squeeze the shoulders back. And extend through the neck and head. All right, excellent. Release from the pose. We'll plant our hands to the outside of the knees. This time, the left foot will be stepping back. Right foot steps forward a little bit to create your lunge. And we'll step right foot back, plank pose. We'll get at least 3 good breaths in here. And we'll drop the knees, we'll lower the upper body, we'll sweep up for upward facing, use the shoulders to support you. And we'll press back, downward facing. Get a couple heel pedals in there just to wake up the legs a little bit more. We're getting some nice sunshine. Gotta admit, it's just a little bit chilly up here. And then we'll lower one forearm at a time. Interlacing the fingers. pressing into the forearms and elbows for Dolphin Pose. Let's aim for 5 breaths here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And on the exhale, we'll let the knees come down. Let yourself rest in child's pose. We're going to hang out here for a minute. So even though we won't be taking a shavasana, we can still release and surrender in child's pose. So let the body soften. Feel the breath and heart rate returning to normal. Before the mind really starts jumping to the rest of your day or whatever else you have to do, ground your attention in the present moment. Grounded in felt sensation in your body. Noticing the gifts of a yoga practice, the open awareness, the energy, the feeling of lightness that it brings in the body. So as we're resting here, we can have a moment of gratitude for our practice, the tools that it equips us with. So with that moment of gratitude, you can sit up, back onto the heels. Place our hands together at heart center. And we'll close with the sound of Om. Emptying your breath, taking a new breath. Om. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. And we bow to each other and say Namaste. Well, I hope this practice was beneficial to you, and I hope you're in a great state of mind and body to take on whatever your day is going to bring you. If you like this practice, I've got many more yoga and meditation videos and music content as well on my YouTube channel, so feel free to just subscribe. It's all there for free. Thanks.